What's happening, guys? This is James Blonde from MMOHut.com with a quick weekly recap for MMO news and announcements for the week ending May 20th, 2013. There are plenty of updates this week, and our first one starts off with DC Universe and the game's latest DLC, Origin Crisis. And with this, Infinite Crisis isn't the only DC game out right now exploring the DC multiverse. In Origin Crisis, players are sent to alternate realities as they amend or alter the origins of their favorite heroes or villains, like future Batman or future Lex Luthor. As the story unfolds, players gain access to an assortment of new multiplayer adventures and solo missions. Overall, the DLC will feature a new quantum controller power set, so players can manipulate time, control gravity, and twist the very fabric of space itself. 2 new raids, 2 new hero and villain origin operations, iconic anomalies, 2 new solo simulations challenges, new gear, feats, collections, and trophies. Whew, a lot of stuff. Check the link in the description below for a more detailed write-up about DC Universe Origin Crisis DLC. Next up, yes, there's been a lot of news about Elsword over the past couple of weeks, but it's because they keep adding new content and making epic changes. Last week, Killer Combo launched PvP Season 2, which updates the PvP quest and items, along with rebalancing the PvP skills. I was wondering if they planned on doing that after all the character transformations. Anyway, players will now be able to set forth on an expanded PvP story quest system, which really helps newer players pick up the game's PvP system much quicker. And in addition, new daily quests allow players both veteran and new to receive competitors' coins by performing small daily PvP-centric challenges, and these coins can later be cashed in for some pretty nice PvP items to use in future matches. Last week, the Egyptian goddess of magic, Isis, was introduced in a Smite. Isis is a ranged support mage whose passive, called Funeral Rites, allows her to share additional HP 5 and MP 5 with nearby allies. For every player death she witnesses, her aura gains an additional stack, up to 10 stacks. Her regular skills are pretty average, but her ulti, called Circle of Protection, grants allies within its radius the ability to take 30% less damage from all sources. All damage mitigated in this way builds on itself until it explodes, dealing damage to all enemies nearby and healing all allies based on how much damage was stored during the time frame of the skill. In addition to adding Isis to the latest patch, Hi-Rez has introduced a god leveling system into the game in the form of worshippers. For every game that is won, the god you played will earn worshippers. The amount of worshippers will dictate what god rank your god is currently at. There are 10 god ranks that can be achieved for each god, and reaching God Rank 1 will trigger a mastery level for the player. Next up, Rock Hippo Productions announced the launch of its latest update for Microvolts featuring pirates. Yep, it is what it is. The new update includes a new shipped theme map with new character outfits and plenty of pirate-themed weapons and gear like swashbucklers, hand cannons, shotguns, and Gatling guns. The new update is up and live for players right now. Also last week, Jagex gave us a small bit of news regarding Runescape 3. The video you see playing here is a behind-the-scenes video discussing the future sound of the game. The developers are going into extreme detail with an entire orchestra behind the new game's music, revamping the old music to sound a little bit more like this. If you like the new music and you are pumped about the game, you can listen and download music tracks from the Runescape SoundCloud, which I'll put in the link in the description below. G-Potato announced last week they're adding a new dungeon builder to Alad's Online. The expansion will allow players to generate their own dungeons and game content for themselves, their friends, and other players. The patch, called Path to Victory, is due to launch June 5th with many more features, including an all-new weaponsmith trade skill. The third major patch has been announced for Dragon Nest Europe. The new update called Mare Oblivion introduces the Nest of the Sea Dragon, a new farming system, and some new items as well. Players interested in getting some buffs will now have the opportunity to become farmers and even learn recipes to cook the food they produce on the farm or catch from the sea. War Portal introduced their first major update for Ragnarok Online 2 that features a new Coliseum set up specifically for PvP. Players will be notified twice a day to head over to the Coliseum to battle with other players, but not only will they fight other players and monsters, they will also be rewarded with points that can be used to acquire unique equipment, costumes, and a special PvP mount. This actually seems to be a pretty common theme for this week's news, changes to PvP. Anyway, players who participate in the Coliseum during the first couple of weeks of launch will be eligible for special Coliseum-only events and giveaways. As you might have noticed, last week Renaissance Heroes became available in the free-to-play section of Steam, But what you might not know is that they've also introduced a new playable character, a new map, and a number of new weapons to pump up the gameplay. The new hero Alphen is an explorer in the search of glory and fame, and seems to be a bit more tanky than some of the other characters, as you can see from the trailer play in the background. But on top of that, players who register for Renaissance Heroes through Steam will receive a permanent Steam banner that grants additional XP when equipped, along with a playable Grinder R submachine gun. The Age of Invention's most infamous serial killer, the Gaslight Joker, is on the loose in Infinite Crisis. In this alternate reality, the Joker is also known as the Laughing Butcher. With a joke and a smile, he leads unsuspecting street dwellers beneath his shop to feed his ever-hungry pet rats. Oh, that's nice. Gaslight Joker is a high damage dealing close combat champion with some really disgusting tricks up his sleeve. We Made USA continues its mission to keep Lost Saga fresh with ongoing new content last week as the swashbuckling swordsman Beck becomes the game's second premium character. But besides that, a new game mode where two teams try to control and defend a crown is introduced into the game. The team whose players manages to control the crown until a countdown bar fills wins the match. But if the crown player is knocked out, the crown passes to the other team for the process to actually start over. Plenty of other things have been added, including a new cube map, but it's nice to see We Made taking Lost Saga in a new direction. Our last bit of news has to do with MapleStory celebrating its 8th anniversary. During the life of the game, Nexon has added large chunks of content, including this year's edition of Japanese-themed characters, Kana and Hayato. The feature-packed content updates and nearly limitless character customization options have contributed to the creation of a faithful fan base where nearly 10% of the North American gamers have been playing the game for 6 years or more. To celebrate its 8th anniversary, MapleStory will host events giving players the opportunity to earn special 8th anniversary celebration boxes dropping from defeated monsters, which include valuable in-game items. Players level 10 and above can collect 8th anniversary coin giveaways every day, while other players can count on hot days and EXP bonuses events throughout the entire month. And with that said, that's about it for MMO news and announcements for the week ending May 20th, 2013. And like always, if you're looking for more information about the news featured in this week's news update, check the link in the description below or head over to MMOHut.com/news. Feel free to discuss the news in the comments below or head over to MMOHut.com/forums. Until next time, guys, that's going to be it for me. I'm James Blonde. See you out there, gamers.